going through. She wants to give them, we did not give them care before they left the country. Now all of a sudden they are back, they are first class citizens, you pamper them, you love them so much now. Now I want to ask this question. Are there places that came that are in the northern area that went back to the north, especially Kaduna, that we are hearing bombing, kidnapping? So how do you make these people comfortable in these areas? That's one. And so, now the curriculum of Sudan, how do you begin to merge it as in how to fix these people in with our curriculum? Is it the same curriculum? And the last one is, look, these persons, have you really asked them if they want to be, if they want to stay, if they want to attend a school, or they want to go back? What led to their going to Sudan in the first place? Of all places, Sudan.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll take one more question before we go on a commercial. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
What's your name, please?
Yeah, this is Ali from Korea.
All right, go ahead.
I want to ask one question. Is it when we fall into bad things that they will celebrate us? Is it when we carry arms that now they will celebrate us? It's not good now. Now this will come out. Over there, you're pampering them. When they are there, you're looking for ways to go and play. You do that, hey, money this, money that. I don't understand. Is that we start carrying arms before they will give us money? It's not good, though. What they're doing to Nigerians is not good. Thank you very much. God bless you.
All right, thank you very much. Mr. Ezekiel, we'll get your response. I'm sure you heard some of the questions asked from the first caller and the response from the second caller. I will take a few messages on Facebook. We're streaming live as well. Nigeria Info 92.3 PH on Facebook and Twitter, Nigeria Info PH. So drop your comments. Let's just go for a 1-minute commercial. My guest will clarify these questions and give you adequate responses when we return. And also, Mr. Ezekiel, when we come back from what the first caller said, how is those people in Nigeria who are also affected by some natural disaster like the flood issue, for instance, and other issues, how are they being treated is also a question that many have been asking. Perhaps we'll get answers to this when we return after this short commercial. Stay with us.
The show continues.
conversation. I've been speaking with the national PR for NEMA, no other than Manzo Ezekiel via telephone. And, we've been assessing NEMA's evacuation and reintegration plan for Nigerians who returned from Sudan. Mr. Ezekiel, thank you for staying on the line for us.
Thank you.
All right. Let's just get into your response from where we stopped, which would be the questions we had from the callers before the break. What's the response? Because some of these people, for instance, went to Sudan, and then the crisis in Sudan has brought them back to Nigeria. And some of them are going to go back to states in Nigeria that have, or even belong to local governments in Nigeria, where we still have some level of crisis and unrest.
Okay. I think some of the issues mentioned by the callers are not within my purview or the purview of the agency that I work to respond to. But I must highlight here that government is a process, and you can't say because one citizen is in crisis that you cannot help another one. That is one. Secondly, I will say here that it is not true that the people that were affected by flood, for instance, were not assisted in one way or the other. For instance, we are into the rainy season already, and we've been raising awareness, by advising people to relocate from flood-prone areas. These are proactive measures that we have been telling the people. So if at the end of the day, somebody somewhere refused to adhere to this complaint, this awareness, and is waiting for something to happen to him or her or his group, so that he's going to get assistance for that, I think it's not fair for us to make comparisons.
Wouldn't you liken it to people who were in Sudan, for instance, and didn't have a way to come back, but then the plans had to be made, even if they've been asked to leave that area? For instance, we have people who might not have any other place to go to. If you're asking them to leave flood-prone areas, they have no other place to go to. Where would they go to? None. And in those cases, some people were affected by the flood. Let's look at what happened in Rivers State, for instance, last year, where we tried as much as possible to get NEMA's preparation. Some people even say relief materials didn't get to them. They didn't see NEMA's presence in most of the communities that were flooded in Rivers State and other parts of the country. Bayelsa State, also one of those places, some areas in Bayelsa State that were mentioned. And they didn't get any of these support. And they are looking at NEMA's activity now with Nigerians returning from Sudan and are saying, where is all of this vigor and plan when we have the flood affect people in parts of the country and we need NEMA to be heavily present throughout the process?
Well, I must say that I do not intend to focus on comparing the evacuation of Nigerians from Sudan with our response to flood in Nigeria. But because it has been mentioned, I want to say here that flood management that was recognized in Nigeria as a federal state with 3 tiers of government, 3 levels of government. And flood management is something that is a responsibility of both the federal, the state, and the local government. So, and I'm aware that the federal government, through NEMA, responded by fulfilling its responsibility in terms of flood management in Nigeria very well last year. And even up to now as I speak, our support to people that were affected by flood last year is still ongoing. So I don't want to dwell on that. But I must say that we do not need to antagonize some of the support that were given to people that the government evacuated from Sudan. Let me also add here that the number of people that we evacuated is not the total number of Nigerians that are living in Sudan. It's only people that indicated interest that this place is too hostile for them, that they would rather return back to their home that were evacuated.
How many Nigerians are in Sudan?
Nigerians in Sudan.
How
as
many?
I speak.
Is there any idea? Does NEMA have an idea? While it was planning for the evacuation, was it planning with the idea of how many Nigerians were in Sudan? And if so, how many Nigerians are in Sudan?
Well, I don't have that record. That record should be with the Nigerian embassy in Sudan. But what I'm saying is that there are so many Nigerians living in Sudan.
So what did NEMA plan with? if that record wasn't available when the plan was being made to evacuate Nigerians, because I know we're hearing over 3,000. We're hearing over 3,000 plus Nigerians.
No,
if
not
not
3,000. It was even 5,000.
Okay, so how did that figure?
That was the working figure.
So how did NEMA get that figure?
Is the embassy, the Nigerian embassy in Sudan? When you want to embark on a project of this nature, you don't just jump into it. You must have a plan. You have to benchmark and say, okay, this is what we intend to do. But sometimes the intention may not be the exact thing that you do at the end of the day. So that was a working figure that we are working with. Because I tell you, there are millions of Nigerians in Sudan. So there are millions of Nigerians in Sudan, but we are working with that figure. But at the end of the day, the people we evacuated is a number of people that show up and were profiled, identified to be Nigerians. Then we evacuated them back home.
All right. There's a question here on WhatsApp. This person says, what are the modalities put in place to help the business owners in Sudan restart their lives and businesses here in Nigeria?
Our main objective is to remove this move from a crisis or conflict situation back to their homes. So if any other thing is our primary objective is to just remove them from the danger zone to save lives.
Are there concerns that if they come back home and there's nothing to do, and with the situation in many northern parts or many states in the northern part of the country, we might see some of these people beginning to indulge in one form of crime or the other if not properly integrated?
Okay, don't forget, I said these were people that indicated intention to be returned back home. We do not force anybody to come back to Nigeria. We do not force anybody from their comfort zone where they have traveled to. It's people that indicated interest that they want to return back home that were evacuated.
All right.
So we do not force anybody out of from his business or his whatever he's doing there. No. It's people that show interest. Okay, this place is no longer safe for us. We think that going back home is better for us. Please, government, can you help us to take us back home? Those are the people that were evacuated.
All right, let's take more questions then. 0817-923-0009, 0817-923-0009, 0817-923-0007. Those are the numbers you can call to join in on the conversation. 0817-923-0009. On Facebook, it's Nigeria Info 92.3 PH. We're streaming live, so from wherever you are, you can be a part of the conversation. We're asking you to assess the performance of NEMA's evacuation process and reintegration plan for Sudan, for Nigerians who returned from Sudan. How would you assess the process thus far? Let us get your opinion on these as well. I've been speaking with the PRO for NEMA, is Manzo Ezekiel. Let's get on to the phone lines now. Okay, this message on Facebook says, yes, if they're the ones who displayed phone numbers on national TV for any in Sudan to call, I guess they are doing well, but they need to do more. This person says, okay, sorry, I can't take that. Ubong is on the line, and Ubong is calling from Woji. Ubong, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Andrew.
All right, go on.
I just paid attention to your response.
Okay.
When he was asked what the modality, what is on place for those that just returnees from Sudan.
Yeah.
His response that it doesn't show any sign that he's a leader or they know what leadership is all about. He said that the internal consensus is not force anyone. I wonder where Nigerian leaders learn their leadership from. I don't know where they learn their leadership from. Let's look at the kind of response it's given to. It does not give people hope. It does not give people hope. When you respond like that to people you are leading, that it's not possible to come back. It's not possible from their comfort zone to come back to Nigeria. And if the people that want to come back, come back. So casual. I regret the American people call leaders. So it's appointment. It's a shame too.
JJ is in Rumigbo. Good morning.
Good morning. I don't know if your guest is still on the line because this question is
the guest is on the line. He's listening to you, so you can ask the question.
Yes. And let me greet him. we also learned that there are over 200 women, specifically, who don't have documents, but said they want to come back to Nigeria, that they are Nigerians. How do you verify those people before you bring them in, sir? And this money they are giving to these people, when it's time, maybe after the war, they want to go back to their schools, or especially the students, will you take them back at the end of the day? Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, JJ. Mr. Ezekiel, I'm pretty sure you want to respond to those.
Yes, I will begin by responding to the first caller who said that the response I gave about not having plans for these people that have been evacuated. I did not just say that. I explained that in a conflict situation like what is happening in Sudan, the first and most important thing is to remove these people to safety. So what we have done is to evacuate them back home to safety in Nigeria. And you're asking me, what are the plans that we have for them? Don't forget, most of them are students. Earlier in the course of this program, I explained that at the ministerial level that communication has been established with the Federal Ministry of Information, Federal Ministry of Education, to see how some of them could be absorbed to continue with their studies back here in Nigeria. So what else do you want us to do? What else? So now, the second person who asked about, what did he say?
The women who are still...
Okay, he asked about the identity of people that have been profiled.
Yes, who don't have documents, but to say they are Nigerians.
It is the responsibility of the Nigerian embassy. There's one of the Nigerian embassy in Sudan, and they are following it up. They are doing the profiling very well, just to make sure that these people true identities are established before they are evacuated.
Okay. And then something that was also asked, if these students want to go back to Sudan, would it now be the duty of their guardians or parents to send them back after the war, or would the government be involved in that process as well?
How will government? They went there on their own. So, and this is our country. So we cannot say when the crisis is over that government is going to send them back. No. We won't do that. I don't think government will do that.
And then quickly for us to clarify, we do not have any returnee at the moment at the Abuja airport anymore. All of them have...
No, we do not have. We do not have any returnee at the airport at the moment.
Everybody has gotten back to their families.
Yes.
So,
everybody have reconnected with their families. They have returned back to their homes.
Does this mean an official end to bringing back Nigerians from Sudan?
It's not an official end to the evacuation, like I said. Those that are still there and are being profiled, once they are profiled and the embassy gives a signal that, look, these people we have established their true identity and that they could be evacuated, I think the process will continue. It's just that for now, those that have been cleared, the government have concluded their evacuation.
All right, Mr. Manzo Ezekiel, thank you very much. I know we're taking much of your time. Well, thank you for giving us information and being a part of the conversation today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
We'll keep in touch. Have a great day. Well, you heard the PRO for NEMA saying, well, this is what it is. It's not signaling an end to evacuation of Nigerians. It just simply means that so far, those who have said that they would want to return to the country, over 2,000 of them have been successfully brought back into the country. We're still trying to verify those who are at the borders. And I think he responded to a question I really wanted to ask him, so I didn't think it was necessary to do that because we had reports that also came in from, I think it was the Nation newspaper that was talking about Nigerians who were still stranded at the border. Port Sudan, yes, that were left behind, some of them. According to this report here, if you're looking at the Daily Trust, yes, that's where you'd find it. The Daily Trust says over 92 students were left behind at Port Sudan. Well, he says if you got the conversation, it has a lot to do with those who have not been able to go through evacuation. For that reason, it is why they where they are. But so far, so good with how it started and how it has gotten so far. How would you assess the process? Let us get your own opinion, honest view as to how it's been assessed. And you also heard his response when he was asked, well, is the government looking at ensuring that other countries where we might have some level of instability in governance, or we might see a possible breakdown of law and order, what is being done to see that Nigerians in those countries are well guided or advised before they make these trips to these countries, like we see other countries do when they issue advisories? I'm sure you got his response. If you did not, well, the whole conversation is very much on Facebook, so you can go back and listen to it. Nigeria Info 92.3 PH on Facebook is the handle. Get on the page, like it, and have access to all of the contents. On Twitter, we're also live, Nigeria Info PH. Joining on the conversation. In the meantime, we'll open the phone lines and hear your thoughts after listening to the conversation. Now, what would be your assessment of what NEMA has done so far with the evacuation and reintegration plan? He says of all the over 2,000 Nigerians that have been brought back from Sudan, none of them are in any camp anywhere. They've all been linked back to their families, connected back with their families. Majority of them, he says, are students, not all of them, and plans to see those of them that can get back into school is already on ground. We're also aware that JAM had also come out to say that it would provide necessary support to ensure that those students who were Nigerians evacuated from Sudan were integrated into universities in the country. This was something that was said by, of course, the registrar of JAM, Ishak Oloyede, professor in Abuja. This was, I think he was speaking with the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission chairperson, Abike Dabiri Erewa, when that comment was made. Certain universities have also offered to, grant admission to these students and have shown interest to accommodate those of them that are willing to want to be a part of the education system here in Nigeria, depending on what happens in Sudan. We've also heard from Sudan authorities saying, well, the war would be over and encouraging Nigerians to come back, and those who also have been schooling there can return. Well, your assessment now is what is of utmost importance. So let's hear what you think about what NEMA has done so far and what the government has done so far with other agencies working together to return Nigerians who were caught up in the war in Sudan. 0817-923-0009. You can also call us up on 0817-923-0003. 0817-923-0003. 0817-923-0009 the numbers to call. This person says, good morning. Good morning. Returnees from Sudan receiving support. We are yes struggling, grinding, pushing, and no one cares to support us. Is it only when people engage in crime or other nefarious activities that their welfare will be looked into? Well, these guys from Sudan did not engage in crime. Let's make that clear. And I'm sure you got his response to that question as well. Nathaniel is in Bonny. Let's hear from him now. Nathaniel, good morning to you.
Yes, good morning, sir.
You're welcome. Go ahead.
Thank you very much. I think NEMA have done all what it's supposed to do. NEMA is just an interventionist agency for the government. And I'm not sure. The last time I checked, I'm not sure. NEMA's duty will also include looking for accommodation and looking for a job and looking for other facilities for them. Their own job is just safely back to Nigeria, which I know they have done successfully. The remaining thing is for government and also other governments to find a way to rehabilitate these people, possibly to their normal or near normal status that they have for that also promise something. I think we shouldn't have to pass these young guys to that rigorous situation where they will have to run from pillar looking for money for re-registration and the feeling of bomb and moving from one state to another. it shouldn't be from one problem to another. They should make these guys feel comfortable, and everything should go easily for them to incorporate them back to the schools in Nigeria. Thank you very much.
I thank you very much, Nathaniel from Bonny. This message says, I need help ASAP, but we are here talking about people who left this country for another. Those of us who remain here in the country, what has been done for us? Please let them leave us alone. This one says, is there free startup plan made for the students from Sudan to go to university to finish their education packs? I think he also responded to this when he says, well, if after the war they intend to go back, that cannot be government's business. That would have to be between the students and their parents if they feel they want to send them back because they sent them there in the first place. That would be their duty. The government would not take responsibility for sending you back to Sudan. What the government only has done is because, well, we have certain crisis issues in Sudan, and these are citizens want to live there, so we provide the means to get them back home. Now that they are back home, if there are any that could not, be reestablished with their families, then perhaps we could question the government on another level. But at the moment, you heard the NEMA spokesperson saying all of them, all 2,000, I think 815 of them have all been reconnected with their families. Ubamadu in Oyigbo, good morning, welcome.
Good morning, Mr. Andrew.
Yes, go ahead, Ubamadu.
Yeah, please, I wanted to find out from your guest, though he's gone now, but this profiling, I think is big grammar. I don't really understand, because I have an experience when I was somewhere in Libreville is in Gabon.
Okay.
You go. There is this thing they call laissez-passer. It's an identity card for Nigerians in Libreville. And when you go to the embassy for this card, they tell you there's no booklet. And yet people are getting laissez-passer from behind. They sell it to us. The highest bidder, you get the laissez-passer. And in a situation like this, where there are people who don't have this identity card, and you are saying profiling, if one can prove that I'm a Nigerian, I'm from River State, I'm Obiakpo, Ikwere, and all that, what profiling again do you need?
So you're saying, in other words, you're concerned about the corruption within the system, and anybody
exactly,
can fake these documents and present these documents to say that they are Nigerians. And if that's only what we want to base on, then we might have people come into the country who really are not Nigerians.
My point, my brother.
Well, he says the embassy is doing a rigorous job with that, and that's the reason why some people are still held up at Port Sudan who claim to be Nigerians, but then have not been able to prove beyond doubt that they are from Nigeria. But then the process is still on to confirm if they...
Okay.
All right, Ubamadu, thank you very much. Well, details of the conversation is on Facebook. Or if you missed it earlier, you can go back and listen and watch it all over again. On Facebook, Nigeria Info 92.3 PH. On Twitter, it is Nigeria Info PH. So you can join in and be a part of the conversation. Dimabo P. George on Facebook says, thank God they are all back. Well, not all of them. There's still a few of them held back in Port Sudan, but those who wanted to come back according to the NEMA PRO have all been brought back. Oscar says, we that have studied and stayed in this country and paid our taxes, our children were not given 100,000 naira. It's really sad. Okay, so we would understand this perspective. It's more like the prodigal son now, where we're saying, I've been with you. These ones that left said they're going to look for greener pastures. Now they are back and they are getting this amount of monies. Well, in the country, I'm sure government has also put in place programs that we that reside here can take advantage of and be a part of. And then you also have to put into consideration, it's the life of these people. They've been away for a long period of time, for years. And coming back, some of them would even find it not even know their way around. It might even shock you that their families might not even have the money required to transport them from the Abuja airport to wherever they need to go to. So that aid might not be out of place if government decides to do that, to say, well, this we are sure could cover your transportation or flight tickets from here to where you need to be. For those people who might be, who might find it difficult to do that. So we shouldn't perhaps look at it from the angle of, we that have been in the country, what is the government doing for us? Well, there's NPower. There's many other programs that the government has provided from state, local to federal levels that we have also benefited from and taken advantage of. Some of us, not all of us, some of us. And I'm pretty sure there are some of these people who still are not satisfied with how they've been treated. Well, if Yemi Andrew is my name, we'll go for a commercial. Port Harcourt is next.
Mikolo, my engine sounds like brand new. Is it not the same Mobile Super 1000?